government to please come to our aid. Girls, young girls like Clea, Sheribo, and others are kidnapped almost on a daily basis. They kidnap you, they do whatever, they beat you up, they useless you. Some of them would ask us, where is your Jesus? Call your Jesus to come and save you. So we are here to beg the US government to please come to our aid. Thank you very much.
Boko Haram has killed more people than ISIS. And until the idea of genocide began to in the Nineveh Plains, our government was relatively silent. Boko Haram, and I called an expert before I came, because I wanted to make sure we weren't exaggerating and throwing the word around. Boko Haram is guilty of genocide. We have a museum not very far from here saying never again. Go on the global tourism list, the top 3 dangerous countries, Afghanistan, Iraq, and Nigeria. I also asked this expert, well, tell me about the Fulani. And I was in Nigeria when the Agatu attack took place. They had helicopters! Helicopters! They were on motorized boats! I remember 5 years ago when the Chibok girls were kidnapped. We had hashtag bring back our girls. I looked this past April, 5 years. I have 4 daughters. 5 years ago, no one this past April said a word. Leah, in the Bible, Peter denies Christ 3 times. Here's a 14-year-old Christian girl who would not deny Christ. The church in the West, we have an obligation in the church in the West to speak out. Secondly, this administration, career and non-career, and the Congress ought to be engaged. I also asked the person, what about the Fulanis? They said, with regard to the Fulani, the activity of the Fulanis, he said, is genocidal. So for you, anybody in the government, anybody in Congress, how can we as a nation stand by and allow what is taking place in Iraq and not to speak out? We should do everything we can to bring the Chibok girls back, and almost 50% are still not back, and do everything we can. Now Leah comes back. We have a moral obligation. We cannot stand by and allow genocide and genocidal activities to take place, and we become very, very complacent and say this is just a question of herdsmen and